Hello, and welcome to the Talent Empowerment Podcast. I am your host, Tom Finn, co-founder and CEO of Leg Up. Each week, we journey into the minds of game-changing CEOs, executives, talent development savants, and successful leaders from a variety of industries. We dissect their strategies, explore their career paths, and uncover how they're fostering a people-first culture within their communities. Our mission, our goal, to help you love your job and supercharge your career. So let's get started and dive right in. Welcome into the podcast, my friends. Today we are sitting down with Bill Walsh. Bill, welcome to the show.
Tom, appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for having me.
Well, we appreciate you as well, my friend. Can't wait to learn from you today. If you don't know Bill, let me take a moment and just introduce you to him. He is the founder and CEO of the Objection Box, one of the world's leading sales training companies. Bill's focus is on helping entrepreneurs and sales professionals 2x to 5x their income in 45 days or less with his Objection Box methodology. His rapid rise to success includes winning the prestigious 2cc award from ClickFunnels in only 4 months, generating nearly $4 million in less than 2 years. All right, let's start with the Benjamins. Generating $4 million in less than 2 years is pretty impressive. How did you pull that off?
Sure. It's like a rabbit out of the hat. You just pulled it out. It was just there. No, it takes a lot of work.
It's never that easy, Bill.
No, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of fortitude. It takes a lot of, mental warfare. But the biggest thing, Tom, is I always tell people, do you have something of high value and can you sell it? It shows, where you go in terms of revenue. And I'm very fortunate, Tom, we did all of that without any paid acquisition. No ads. All organic. 98% of it was organic in the last 18, 19 months. So we're very proud of it. We're very proud of the people we've helped and coached and trained and developed. But there's always more, and that's the curse of being an entrepreneur. There's always more. You think you've done nothing. Even when you were speaking there, I kind of got a little bit here in the back of your neck stand up, and it kind of makes your skin a bit crawl. But yeah, there's always more. There's always more to have.
Well, that's an interesting response. So hair on the back of your neck, making your skin crawl a little bit. Is that simply because you want to accomplish more, or you think you should have accomplished more? Entrepreneurs feel this way all the time. How does it sit with you, and why?
How does it sit with me? Very good. Look, I'm Irish, so for most of our life, we're told to be humble. We're told to, play small and play safe. And I don't do any of those things. But that little boy in me, Tom, when people speak about you well and, they give you pump up, the little boy inside me thinks of my mother sitting me down and giving me a telling off. So it's an unusual feeling for sure. So I'm one extreme and being Irish is the other extreme. So somewhere in the middle is where it's at. But it's as entrepreneurs, as you well know, Tom, whatever you do, it's never enough. Whatever you do, you think you've always, sold yourself short and you could have done more and you should have done more. And, you're always going to the next day. So it's always the next one.
Yeah, that is the gift and the curse of being an entrepreneur, is that things are never enough for the entrepreneur, 100%. So let's talk about for a second this kind of path of winning the ClickFunnels awards. What was that based on? What was the product based on? Help us understand just some of the details around that, because that sets us up for a really rich conversation.
Yeah, for sure. So the ClickFunnels award was won 4 months after we launched the business. And I don't know anyone else who has done it in the first 4 months of business, which is awesome, which is great, which is a great kind of like pump in the chest. And how we did that, we had one product And we started it off at $3,000, and I went to 5,500, then I went to 7,500, then I went to 8,500, and we just kept going and going and going and going. The demand kept going, the supply kept going, the results kept going, the testimonials kept going, the case studies kept going. And before we knew it, 4 months later, we'd already collected the Two Common Club award. So we're very proud of that. So we sell a tremendous amount of coaching and training in terms of development of salespeople, coaches, consultants, agency owners, entrepreneurs, as well as us, and individual salespeople, whether they're online sales, whether they're in-person sales. We do a kind of broad range of everything, but 90% of it is online sales.
Nice. And anything specific that's being sold that people should be thinking about when they think about you?
Yeah, for sure. So my whole philosophy is going back to front. So Tom, when I spent 4.5 years in military, and when you're in military, you're told to do the hardest thing first. So we would be dropped on the bottom of a mountain, and we would have 300 pounds between 10 of us, whatever it may be, all varying in different weights and different equipment. In your head, you would think you would take it nice and easy, and you carry the easy stuff up first. It's the wrong way to go about it. You've got to carry the hardest things first when you're full of energy, full of zip, as I like to call it, and full of enthusiasm. And I looked at sales like that. What is the hardest thing in sales? Overcoming objections. And every sales coach, trainer, developer wanted to start that. This is how you open up a conversation. This is how you say hello. This is how you build rapport. This is how you build connections. This is how you build, a gap and all of this great stuff. And then they had 8% of a training module on the actual thing that moved the needle. I came in and I looked at the organizations that we were competing with and we compete with every day. And I went, F this, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going 90% on objections, and everything else after that is going to flow. And my, I suppose, philosophy has been proven right with the amount of people we've coached and trained to get to where they are, doubling and tripling and quadrupling their own income on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So that's what we do. That's what changed the game for a lot of people, is focusing on the needle mover.
So you think the needle mover is objections?
I think it is. I feel it is. Because if you're a sales professional, Tom, what's the one thing that you don't want to do?
I don't know. Maybe not answer a difficult question. There's probably lots of things you don't want to do.
Yeah, for sure. There's lots of things. And from my experience, the most important thing is people don't want to be in difficult conversations. People don't enjoy conflict. People don't enjoy, somewhat difficult energy spaces. And when you're in sales, that's what it is. Because you're asking somebody to do something that they fundamentally, more often than not, don't want to do. You're asking them to give you something in exchange for value, but also that value has to come with a tremendous amount of work, dedication, and time that they have to put in to get the outcome on the other side. So most people don't want to, because if most people did something in life, we wouldn't be in a pandemic and an epidemic of overweight people, broke people, and people living in poverty. So most people don't want to do anything. They just want to think that they want to do everything. Now, when it comes to sales, the hardest thing, in my opinion, to do in sales is to overcome people, their fears, their limitations, their hesitations, and their, I suppose, inaction in moving forward into something of better life. So when I look at sales, most salespeople tighten up, shrink up, lose confidence, lose that certainty in themselves when they start to get a little bit back from their prospect. And that's when now you're back in the game. Now you got to get comfortable when everybody else is getting uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So that's what we coach. That's what we train. That's what we do every single day. If you're uncomfortable doing push-ups, this is what you're supposed to do every day, Tom.
Push-ups.
You're supposed to do the push-ups. If you're overweight, the hardest thing in the world to do is to get up every day and go and, be relentless at it. It's the same with objection handling. The more you train, the more you earn.
Yeah, I love it. I always look at sales in a similar way where you start with the end in mind. So start with actually closing the account in your mind and work backwards from what are the needs that decision maker needs through the process. And if you start with the end in mind, this is going to sell, and you work backwards, the first thing you hit, as you just said, is objections, because it usually comes after the pitch, right? You have the conversation, it seems really calm and easy, and you're having this great conversation because guess what? You're the only one talking. And the minute the other person gets to talk, that's when this kind of uncomfortable setting starts to take place within the two humans or more.
Correct. And it's every industry, Tom. It's not high ticket sales, it's not online sales, it's everywhere. Insurance, car sales, door to door, pest control, every single thing is sales and every single thing is objections. Straight up. You go into the store, you want to buy a new jumper, and the lady behind the counter says to you, "Can I help you today?" Initially, what do you say? I'm okay, I'm looking. Straight away, it's an objection, I'm pushing you away from. Yeah. So every time you get an objection.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And we've all done that a million times when we're shopping and somebody comes up and says, what can I help you with? And I'm just browsing. I'm just looking. Don't worry about me. I don't want to be sold anything. And when you get into business sales, it's what you're saying is it's a similar process. People immediately put up a wall.
Correct. Yeah. It's everywhere, every place.
So how do you set up objections for some of your clients? How do we figure that out? So we understand we got to start with objections. If I'm sitting there and I'm a business owner of a 50 or 100 person company out there in the world and I'm trying to figure this out, where would you tell somebody to start with unpacking the objections?
Yeah. So how many objections are in the market, Tom, do you think?
Oh,
There's a trick question for you. I'll put you on the spot. I do apologize. Tom. Put you on the spot. I'll tell you. Everyone wants to say there's 50 and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. There's 5, Tom. There's 5. Okay, and you can bring them all down to 5. Think about it. Partner, and money, and fear, and then logistics. That's it. There's 5. And I've broken it down into a spider web. More often than not, you're going to get a think about it or a partner, which are the first 2 smoke screens that everyone gets. Or they will say something like this: can you wrap it up into an email for me and send it over? Us, me, and the C-suite or the business execs or partners will go through it if you're in the B2B aspect. More often than not, if you're in a B2C consumer market, you're going to get a think about it, a sleep on it, or you're going to get a partner. Let me run it to the partner. Let's come back to you. Let me write this in an email. Come back to you in 24 hours. So the first 2 are smoke screens. After that, you got to get to the understanding. Is it a money? Is it a fear? Or is it a logistics concern? That's where we broke that. That's how I break it down. Now, that's my opinion. That's how I break it down. It's very simple. It's a very structured approach. And, it takes away that fear of more and more and more and more objections coming up. If you can just zone it into 5, you give yourself a chance.
So let's go through those 5. I got the first one, which was think about it.
Yeah.
I got 3rd, which is money, then 4th, fear, and 5th, logistics. And I did miss the second one.
Okay, so think about it as the first one, or typically what you're going to get outside of that is a partner objection, whether that's a business partner, whether that's a physical partner like a wife, a husband, a boyfriend, a girlfriend. And you're going to get a money concern, and then it's going to go to fear or logistics. And it literally, I'll give you 100 calls, they'll break up into one of those 5. Guarantee you.
Yeah. The one I missed was the partner objection, being business partner or personal situation partner, somebody else that needs to make the decision for me. And does that partner decision also go to I need to talk to other executives? Is that in the same bucket, or is that in the think about it bucket?
That again is I'm giving you a reason, story, or excuse not to make a decision. So for me, it's another smoke. Because if you can break it all down, Tom, how people make decisions are going to be based on 3 things: if they have it, if they want it, and are they willing? Meaning, have they the money? Have they investment? Do they want it? Meaning, do they actually want the outcome? And are they willing to do the work? Those are 3 things that people have to understand.
I love the way you broke that down in such a simple way, right? Let's double click on that. So
Oh
there's
shit.
three things that people are looking for here when they are going through the sales process. You want to make sure your customer has it, wants it, and is willing. Has
Yeah,
it being you got to have the money to be able to pay for the product or service.
correct.
Uh, want it, you've got to actually want the outcome that that product or service provides. And then, of course, willing, you got to be willing to put some work, some effort, some time, some energy behind this solution so that it actually works for you or your organization. And if we
Correct.
cross those three bridges with a prospect, an individual or an employer, B2B, B2C, you're going to land the sale.
You're gravy. You're in the gravy, as we say in Ireland. That's what it is. Yeah. Very simple,
In
Tom. Yeah. Sales is very simple. People overcomplicate it all the time. Overcomplicate everything all the time because it makes them sound great and wonderful and cool and hip. It's just simple. You're just having conversations, figuring out problems and overcoming them. That's all it is.
Yeah, look, I think people overcomplicate it because they don't know how to break it down. The great saying, one of the great sayings that I love is, if I had had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. Well, what does that mean? It just means that it takes a lot longer to simplify things than it does to be verbose and just go on and on and on and on, right?
Yeah.
It takes intelligence to break things down into bite-sized pieces.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm being divisive with you because you're absolutely spot on. You're absolutely spot on. Yes, everything comes down to education and knowledge. If you don't know, then you can't do. And if you can't do it, then you won't know. So that's how it works. Five, that's it,
So how
Tom.
did you
Five, all the five. That's it.
So how did you come up with these five kind of main things? Think about it: partner objections, which are the smoke screens, and then moving into money, fear, and logistics as
Yeah.
things that we need to overcome. Like, how did you build this model?
I got punched in the mouth many, many times and got many, many no's and got many, many complaints and I got many, many deals. And I looked at all of the calls that we did and all of the frameworks and all of the endings of calls, and I started tracking shit. I started controlling stuff and I started looking at it and I said to myself, hold on a second. All of these are ending one of five ways. And more often than not, I'm getting to think about our partner first, and then it's going to go into the spider web into those three. Whether it goes money, and if it goes to money, then it's going to go money fear or money logistics. And it's the same thing over and over and over again. It's like in the Matrix. I found something, Tom, that I'm excellent in the world at. Like excellent. And I can say that with utmost confidence because I'm useless at everything else. Like absolutely useless at 90% other things. To the extent, Tom, where I will be doing a puzzle with my 3-year-old. She'll be getting frustrated at me, and I'll be getting frustrated at her because I can't find a piece to her 3-year-old puzzle. So I just found something that I'm really good at, and I understand the puzzle. Do you know when you're in school and the algebra was up on the board and that cool kid just got it. He just knew exactly what was going on. And I was so frustrated in school because I didn't get it. And I was never going to get it. But I just look at sales, Tom, and I'm like, I got it. I know what it is. I know what this means. I know what a word means. I know what an inflection of an eyebrow is. I know what a tilt to the chin is. I know what a smile is. I know what a look over there is. I just know it. And I can't explain it. I just know.
Well, that is truly a gift. Forget school. Reading body language, cues, and being able to communicate in a way that people want to work with you is probably the greatest gift that you could have been given. So let's let school be in the rearview mirror. And it sounds like you found your true passion and your love.
I have, and I'm very fortunate, Tom. I'm very, very fortunate. Many, many people won't find something that they're excellent at, and they end up spending their life doing stuff just because they have to. I'm very fortunate I found something I'm very, very good at, and I'm very humble about that. And I can only say I'm good at it because I've proven it, and the team that I have around me have proven it, and the results will prove that. But I just find it easy, you know. But I put a tremendous amount of work into it, a tremendous amount of work, over and over, up and down, in and out.
So let's talk about that tremendous amount of work because I think some people hear this and they hear this simplified sales strategy that's
Yeah,
worked to build a few $1 million pretty quickly and to win awards and those types of things. And most business owners and even division leaders of big companies are scratching their heads trying to figure out sales.
yeah,
And you've kind of figured this out. We've gone through that. So how did you start? You talked about your military experience. How did you
yeah.
get into this line of work? What's the story?
How I got into sales was on the back end of that big, massive C word. Remember that big, massive C word that just took over the entire world for a couple of years, or that crazy, crazy thing that was going to wipe out the entire world population. And I got wiped out. I was a personal trainer here in London, Tom, making good money, coaching people to be better physically, mentally. And COVID wiped me off the board like flat. And I had a baby who was my second born, India, in the next 6 weeks. And a good friend of mine offered me an opportunity to come in and start helping him with his fitness sales. And I took that opportunity. And in the first week, I think we sold 36 packages. Now, back then, Tom, all the gyms were shut. It was over
Yep.
30 degrees here in London. It was absolutely bonkers. There was no equipment, and what we were selling, Tom, was push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, and squats. That's what we sold. And I sold the absolute bejesus out of it. And after that first week, and I made more money selling fitness than I did doing fitness, I said, F this, I know what I'm doing now. And from there, it kind of snowballed. We went into different organizations, and I started in sales then January 2021, full time, no more fitness. So I started kept the fitness going and stuff like that because I had clients. And it came to the December of 2020, and I sat down with my partner at the time, and I said, I think I got to go for this. You know, we're making good money, and I just found it easier, meaning my life was easier. Now, the stress obviously came after that, of course, but that's how we kind of fell in. And then January 2021, we started full time. By March 2021, I was the leading salesman for another sales organization that we used to coach for and sell for. And it just kind of snowballed from there, you know, and set up the objection box then in June 2022. It's just been a bit of a mental 4 years, 3 years.
Yeah, what's the hardest drag mentally for you? What is the hardest piece of the mental focus or the hurdles that you have to get over?
The biggest mental hurdle for me, Tom, is going to war every day. In my head, I go to war every day, but also being able to come home and be the dad as well. That was the biggest and is the biggest mental challenge for me every day. And it's the most difficult thing in my life. In my head, I go to war every day with my competition, with the market, with other salespeople, other sales organizations, and that's just how I operate. The mindset I've always lived by, 31 years of age. It's been like that since day dot. And so to be able to take the switch from go, 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 kill, 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 to smile, 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 hug, 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 pick me up, pick me up, pick me up. That's the hardest shift for me. That little, if you can do both, I absolutely tip my hat to you. It's the hardest thing for me in life.
Yeah, well, look, it's no secret to listeners on this show. I have 4 kids, my friend, so I hear you loud and clear, and I've still got a couple of little ones as well.
Yes.
And so, I would tell you, um, just take a deep breath before you walk through the door. Walk around the block, stay in your car longer, take the long walk home, whatever it might be, that gets you to clear your head before you walk through the door for the little ones. But you got to enjoy that time too, because the having little babies at home, there is nothing more rewarding in my mind. Sales are great, and of course, revenue's great, and that stuff feels good too. But those little people, they look in your eyes, and that's it for me.
They don't care either. They don't care whether you've done a massive day and no revenue day. They don't care if you've overcome 55 objections. They don't give a shit. They just want you for what you want to be, and that's it. You know, that's the beauty of kids, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say to a an entrepreneur that is struggling with sales, that is, you know, hitting the wall? They can't kind of figure it out. Maybe they're, I don't know, maybe they're a year in, maybe they're 5 years in. Is it as simple as just Bill just calling you and saying, "Hey, you know, hire Bill and he'll figure this out for you," or is there some real homework they need to do on their own?
Yeah, most people would expect me to say, yes, just call me, I'll fix everything, I'm Houdini, and I'll just click my fingers and off you go, you're off to the races. Look, I think a lot of entrepreneurs aren't actually entrepreneurs. Let's call a spade a spade. And, you know, they see the glam, the glitz, and they think that it's 99% glam and glitz. It's not. It's hard. They're hard, lonely yards, day after day, week after week, night after night. So what I would say, the first thing you got to do is you got to look at what you offer the market, and is it a market fit? Do people actually want it? If there's nobody wanting it, you can't sell it, you know. And I can prove that time and time again. You know, if you have something and people actually want it and it's in demand, it's far easier to sell something then. So first thing entrepreneurs have to do is they've got to figure out if what I want to bring to the market, is it something of value that people will exchange for hard-earned cash? If it is, and you know that because you're getting a tremendous result for somebody, but now you're still not making the sales that you feel it deserves, then I can help you. But the first thing is the product. If the product's not there and it's not good and people don't want it and it's not providing value and people aren't getting a result, I don't care who you are. You can put a spell on somebody, but they're going to snap out of it pretty soon and want a refund. So product is the number one thing. After that, then it's skill set.
Hmm. All right, that makes sense. You got to figure out your product market fit, and then you call Bill. Uh,
Most people would just most people would think I would just say, no, just call me and I'll figure it all out for you. But at the end of the day, um, the work that you do up front, the product fit that you need to do up front will far outweigh everything. Like you can be the best salesman in the entire world. But if you have a drunken Irishman, you ain't selling him a crate of Guinness if he's already upside down on Guinness. So you have to understand, like, do people actually want it? You know? You know, you have to make sure that it's actually needed and wanted in the market. Then it's a skill set. You know, then it's a skill set, Tom.
hmm. Yeah, that seems pretty straightforward. Find the product market fit. Move yourself into a place that you can then double click on that fit and that demand, which is super important. So as you think about your own business, what's the hardest thing you have on your plate with your own team?
I have a fantastic team, Tom. And I think most people say that, you know, because they have to say that. I don't have to say it, and I don't want to say it if it's not true. I have fantastic people around me. I have fantastic people that I pour into every single day. The hardest thing for me is to make sure that I give them everything they deserve. That's my biggest thing, Tom. And that's maybe the protective gene that's in me, and making sure that I can provide great people, great opportunities, meaning they can make the money that they want to make, they can have the impact that they want to have, and they can live the life through my life, if that makes sense. Like they can get their goals through the company's goals. That's my biggest thing for my team. You know, that's the biggest thing that keeps me up at night, is making sure that, am I doing enough? Can I do more? Can I lead better? Can I coach better? Can I set a higher standard? That's my late night thoughts, unfortunately.
Late night talks with Bill.
Yeah.
Maybe that's another podcast you could start. You know,
Yes.
what's deep in your thought
Yeah,
on a
yeah.
late night?
Jesus, you don't
Look,
want
I
to know.
think I think that is the epitome though of a good leader trying to figure out how to make it all work for everybody else, right? Trying to
Yeah.
take the business mold it the best we can, grow it the best we can, but bring everybody along with us, along on
Yeah.
this journey so that they can reap the rewards just like the company does. It's
Yeah.
incredibly important. What ends up happening when you do it that way, you know this, you get good people to work with you because
Yeah.
they see the vision, they're behind it. They know you're for them first, and they'll come run through a wall for you.
Yeah. And that's so true. Like I have the most loyal people around me. And my guys, Tom, are excellent salespeople, like excellent. They get hit up all the time. Do you want to come here? Do you want to go there? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And I think they're loyal because I'm loyal to them. And I've been in organizations, Tom, where decisions are made above your head. You don't know why. You weren't involved in it and you were just told. And I never wanted to build an environment around me that ultimately I dictated what it was going to be. When I make changes, I'm the boss, unfortunately, or fortunately, but everybody gets a seat at the table and everybody has input. Of course, the last decision is mine, but everybody's voice, everybody's opinion is absolutely valuable. And there's decisions, Tom, that I don't make, meaning the team make the decision. They come to me and say, Bill, this is what I think this company needs. This is what we're struggling with. This is what we have come with. There's 2 or 3 options. And then I have to make the decision, but they did the work. And I've been around many A players. I call them mavericks, where you can entice them for long enough with dangling the carrot of money at them. But a lot of people, Tom, in life want to be a part of something. And I'm very fortunate that people that are with me want to be a part of it. They're not doing it for a paycheck because they could probably make a ton of money somewhere else. They could make a ton of money building their own thing if they wanted to. But they see the mission, they see the goals, and they're willing and wanting. And that for me is key.
Well, my friend, this is the Talent Empowerment Podcast, and you just hit the nail on the head
That's it.
in terms of being right in our fast lane here. I think you're right on. Look, you got to take care of people. There's always other places to go. And if you can build purpose and character, lead with trust, you can hire really well and retain those really talented employees. So kudos to
Yeah,
you, man, for figuring that out pretty quickly and making it a part of your business model, which is likely why you're so successful.
I appreciate that, Tom.
So, Bill, if somebody wants to track you down after they have figured out their product market fit, of course,
Yeah, yeah.
and work with you or someone on your team and get to know you guys and figure out their own sales process, how do they track you and figure this thing out?
Missed you there, Tom. Go again, sorry.
How do people track you down and figure out where to find you? So if they need some help, they can find your team and work with you guys to figure out their own sales challenges.
Yeah. So we're pretty heavy on Instagram, pretty heavy on Facebook. I would say to people, if you want any help, I got a free Facebook community on Facebook called the Objection Box Community. It's completely free. I go live 3 times a week in there, coaching, training, developing people for absolutely zilch, nada, other than reciprocity and happiness and goodwill coming back to us. And also, what we have is we've actually broken down, Tom, all of the objections, the top 5 objections, broken it down to a structure, to a routine, through a system, and we actually can give it to you guys for free. All I'd ask you to do is just jump onto my Instagram, it's Bill Welsh Official, and shoot me the word podcast in a message, and I'll actually get that PDF out to you. It literally breaks down the top 5 objections in the market, so you can go and make a ton of money. All I want you to do is say thanks. That's it.
Awesome, brother. I love it. Well, look, we'll get the Facebook and the Instagram links into the show notes so that if people are driving and listening, they don't have to try to tap that out on their phones. And appreciate you being on the show, my man. Check it out, my friends. Facebook, the Objection Box Community. Check Bill Walsh Official on the IG. Send him a note that says podcast, and all of this glorious information is yours, free of charge.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks for being on the show.
I appreciate you, buddy.
All right, my man. Bye-bye.